Greetings, dear suckers. My name's Joe Bob, and I'm very peeved. And welcome back to Scarlet Hollow. Last time, our lovely cousin bonding time was unfortunately cut a bit short by the introduction of an asshole. And now we're gonna go talk to a dog mayor and warn him about, well, alone on Main Street. Tragic. You enter the library alone. It's busier than usual, and a small crowd has formed in a corner of the main foyer. Hey, Joe Bob. Thank God we have something to do this morning. My family's been driving me nuts. Saw that. Yes, the whole gang's here. I've been waiting to introduce Joe Bob to the mayor for like the entire time I've known him. It'll be worth it. Trust us. I'll bet. I have a feeling I'm going to get more out of this than most people would. For obvious reasons. Alright, shall we? There he is. In all his splendor. He's got a fucking Secret Service member behind him, ready to shoot anyone who tries to assassinate him. Yep, he's a dog. Imagine that. And judging from the series of portraits lining the walls, historic buildings of Scarlet Hollow was right. Every mayor of Scarlet Hollow in living memory has also been a dog. Does it really take a keen eye to see that? Alright. You can tell this dog is the mayor from his little sash and his fancy top hat. There's a regal air about him, almost as if he knows the position of authority he's been elected to. You haven't met the serious man by his side, but you have to assume that he's the mayor's handler. Now this is interesting music. Almost sounds film noir. Ah, what's a good mayoral voice? Good morning, citizen. I don't believe we've met. He holds out his paw as if to shake your hand. Guess I might as well shake his paw then. It's lovely to meet you, Mr. Mayor. You take his little paw in your hand, but the burly security detail stops you. No paw shaking. Only head pats and ear scratches allowed. Is that right? I must apologize for my security detail. He has my best interests at heart, but he can be a little gruff at times. Gretchen says you're a lowlife. Watch it. Miss Gretchen, what must I do to earn your loyalty? I'll settle for nothing less than you stepping down from office. We're doomed, aren't we? Mr. Mayor, there's something very serious going on in town. We need your help. Murmurs stir in the crowd behind you as you relay the danger to the mayor. Of course, the pet disappearances. I've been made aware of the situation. Pet disappearances? That's interesting. I mean, I knew about the chickens disappearing. And he did mention there being dogs in that place. But what do you expect me to do about it? It's autumn. That's tourist season in Scarlet Hollow. I can't turn away the lifeblood of this town, not with the mine faltering the way it is. There was the mine collapse last night. We don't need any more news of disaster coming out of Scarlet Hollow. Do you understand? I think I do. Of course. You have to project strength. The murmurs behind you intensify as you continue your conversation with the mayor. I'm glad we see eye to eye. There's no need to go around starting any panics. I'm sure this will all resolve itself soon enough. I've heard just about enough from you, Jimmy. Look at you, putting on a show in front of your adoring fans, while the dogs of this town are snatched up by monsters in the woods, hoping the humans will clean it all up for you. When are you finally going to do something meaningful for the hairier citizens of Scarlet Hollow? Now, Miss Gretchen, there's no need. Scraps would have never let those things prowl the woods for so long. And yet you sit back, waiting for the humans to notice, and letting more innocent dogs suffer. You know I almost lost my life to those things the other night. Now, Gretchen, a lot of those were old dogs. It's fair of me to assume they simply went to the big farm upstate. Don't you dare talk to me about old dogs! Ugh, I guess every politician is corrupt and cowardly. Even the actual dogs. Quite so. He's only a dog. It's not like he has any real power. Well, I guess he probably does have power over the dog population. Or maybe I should say nothing and stay out of this. After all, it's not like I have a dog in this fight. You remain silent, deciding instead to let Gretchen speak her piece. Scraps would have been out in those woods at the first sign of trouble, tearing out the throats of any creatures who dared threaten the dogs of Scarlet Hollow. Yet here he is, posing for the little rectangles like nothing is wrong in this town. Gretchen squirms in Stella's arms, straining to get at Mayor Jimmy. Fucking hell. Things are really heating up in this. Things are really heating up here. Goddamn. Hey, whoa, Gretchen. Calm down, old girl. You gotta pull a muscle. Mr. Franklin, I think now's a good time to dispose of this riffraff. Mr. Richmond, I'm gonna have to ask you and your dog to step away from the mayor. Hang on. That was an awfully coincidental sequence of events, security goon. I should have known better. These two have never been able to get along. Joe Bob, you've got to fill me in on their feud later. I've always been curious about why Gretchen gets so fussy near Mayor Jimmy. Hang on. What if I... Sharp and cowardly... Seems like the same sequence of events. She's got a good point, Mr. Mayor. You're damn right I do! And then... Same, and he's only a dog. It's not like he has any real power. No real power? Why, I never... He could have power if he ever actually acted on what he promised the dogs of this town. Interesting. Yes, it's as I thought. He might not have power over the human population, beyond merely being a famous dog, but... Stella walks off, still struggling to hold Gretchen as she shouts insults back at Jimmy. Or barks insults, I suppose. Ingrate! Ne'er-do-well! You dog! Bold words, Gretchen, bold words. Kanika is quick to follow. Time to go. And my notoriety grows, I assume. Hang on. Yeah, now we can get a good look at those pictures. In fact, this would make a decent thumbnail. Hang on. Speaking of thumbnails, I just realized I never actually made one for the cut. God damn it. Okay. It looks like everyone else is already talking to Oscar in the next room. Before you can catch up to your companions, you're intercepted by a nervous man with a cross around his neck. Technically the cross is below his neck, and the necklace it's on is around his neck, but never mind. It's hard to put a finger on it, but something compels you to dislike him. That right, Mystical. Whoever he is, You can feel his desperation to make a good first impression. A self-sustained and self-fulfilling prophecy. Sounds like old Gretchen and the mayor may have some unresolved issues, wouldn't you say? I'm Pastor Daniel. I take it you're Joe Bob? Everyone's been buzzing about you. A little bird told you about me then, eh? Hummingbird, anyway. I'm so sorry about your aunt, but I'm sure she's in a better place now. What? Pearl Ann? Doubt it. I don't know about what Mystical was saying, but this music certainly is ominous. Let's not kid ourselves. We both know Pearl Ann's in hell. Oh, I'm sure she wasn't that bad. Most people are good, deep down inside. It's best not to speak ill of the dead. Why not? The dead are the best people to speak ill of. It's not like they're gonna hear you talking shit about them. Hey, do you know anything about ghosts? Ghosts? I've never encountered one myself, but I have heard stories of folks who have been visited by their loved ones from beyond the grave, and it seems like it provides them with a sort of spiritual healing. I'm surprised he didn't say something about the Holy Ghost. Although I guess he's also called the Holy Spirit. So, yeah. Like their beloved relatives are watching over them, even in death. You'll find all sorts of means to cope. Some worse than others. Is this about Pearl Ann? Or perhaps your mother? Have you been visited by her? No. Oscar's place is haunted. Oh, like a Scooby-Doo episode or something? I'm afraid I don't buy into that particular notion. It's a bit too spiritualist. What, of Scooby-Doo episodes? Because I'm pretty sure those were all fake. I don't think there's much spiritualist about Scooby-Doo. Well, maybe a little. Now, if it were a vision of one of his parents trying to contact him from heaven, I could understand that. Oh yes, you gotta pick our poison when it comes to obvious delusion. It isn't. No shit. But I simply don't believe in malicious spirits, lingering neither in heaven nor hell, jumping out of closets to scare us. Is that right? I'm sure there's a perfectly reasonable explanation for whatever it is he saw. I'll bet. Wait, you believe in some ghosts and not others? What makes you an authority on that? I do have a degree from one of the top seminaries in the country. Oh wow, incredible. I took a whole class on ghosts, so I suppose that does give me a certain authority in this situation. Oh yes, a couple notches above the average Burger King crown. There were ghosts in the mines last night. Really? Are you sure you weren't just seeing something normal? There was nothing normal about what happened in the mines last night. Trauma has funny ways of manifesting itself. Yes, like throwing yourself into religion. There's been a lot of supernatural stuff happening the past few days. So, will you help us ghost hunt tonight? The blood drains from his face as he gulps nervously. What an interesting response. Oh, I promised my daughter we would watch VeggieTales tonight, so I'm afraid I have plans. Is that right? It's funny, when you get down to it, how easy it is to tell the difference between something a person believes and something a person believes they believe. But let me know if you see anything strange. I'd love to hear your account of this supposed haunting. In fact, here's my card. He hands you a business card. Call me if you need me. Janie mentioned you this morning. That woman is the light of my life. I'm so glad she's there to help your cousin through this rough patch. I don't think helping is the word that my cousin would use for that. Gretchen says she didn't vote for the mayor. I don't believe she... Did she say that? Not recently, maybe earlier. The mayor is a huckster and a fraud. The bastard cares more about tourism than the fate of the town. The pastor goes quiet for a second, his face suddenly white as a sheet. The smile fades from his face as he stares at you intently, studying your expression. You too? Oh? Me too what? He glances to either side before continuing. I thought I was the only one. So did I. Please, come visit me at the church soon. Seems like we might have a lot to talk about. Indeed. He hurries off, suddenly quiet and serious. Well, that conversation was rather more profitable than I expected. Nothing to do now but catch up with your companions. Oh, hi. You find them already talking to Oscar deeper into the library. Are you sure we can't just get it over with while the sun is up? I don't know if I can handle getting scared shitless in the dark 2 nights in a row. Get used to disappointment, Kanika. What voice did I give to him? I wish we could, especially since I'm not particularly excited about going back in there after dark either. But I'm pretty sure it only comes out when the sun goes down. Maybe. It might still be profitable to examine the grounds while it isn't there, just in case it's hiding somewhere. Yeah, there's no way I'm going in until that spirit is at full power. I want to be sure we get the best evidence possible. This could be my one shot to get real proof of ghosts. We're not gonna waste it just because I'm impatient. Y'all are gonna be the death of me. This town is gonna be the death of us. I just hope it's possible to get rid of this thing. Or at least get it put into gainful employment so I can start paying rent. This is a pretty serious ghost infestation? Is that what you'd call something like this? I think we just call it a haunting. I believe it's called a haunting, but ghost infestation also sounds good. I think it would only qualify as a ghost infestation if there were several of them at least. I suppose we're the ghost hunters, so we can call it whatever we want. Ha. Suppose so. As much as we can always call things whatever we want. Anyways, I'll be bringing all the ghost hunting supplies anyone could ever need, so we should be set on preparations. The only thing y'all need to bring is an open mind. An open mind is like a fortress with its gates unbarred and unguarded. So what are you bringing then? We have the power of friendship on our side! That's a bit presumptuous. We barely know each other. I mean, I guess nearly dying together more than once in some cases is certainly something that would bring people together, but don't worry, Oscar. We'll fix this. One way or another. Heck yeah, we will! Yeah, whatever this is, we'll get to the bottom of it. Tonight. Indeed. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. Well, if we're not doing the hunt now, I guess we should head over to Reese's? Yeah, to get some pieces. Absolutely. Come on, Joe Bob. Time to go bother our friend. Ha, that's what friends are for. I'm gonna get back to it. See y'all tonight. Time to go. Or is it? So, about the mayor. Right, is he gonna help us? What was he like? You should vote for Scraps next election. That's who Gretchen supports. The Stray? Love that guy. He just seemed a little less mayoral than Jimmy. But if he's got Gretchen's support... I've always liked Scraps. Gretchen's got good taste. So, I finally met Pastor Daniel. He ambushed me in the foyer. It was only a matter of time until he tried to pull you aside about grief counseling. When my dad died, I had to ban him from the general store for a week. Ugh. He wouldn't stop leaving these little pamphlets at the checkout. I don't know where he finds so many. Probably orders them from Jack Chick. But yeah. Pastors love a good tragedy. They're like vultures. Never waste a tragedy and all that. Well, I should say, they like vulnerable people. That's probably more accurate. Vulnerable prey, you could say. I think he comes off as a little weird because he shares my gift. Or so he claims, anyway. But wait, you don't mean... Yeah, he corroborated some of the things the mayor told me. Did he? Okay, assuming for a minute that both you and Pastor Daniel have the magical power of speaking to animals, I don't think that's enough to explain how weird the guy is. For instance, I like you, and I don't like the pastor. True. However, I do also have a lot more going on here than just talking to animals. Plus, everyone responds to things differently. I wonder how many people out there share your gift. There's so many implications. I'm going to continue to pretend that Joe Bob is just really good at reading animal body language. I don't think I can handle many more world-shattering revelations this week. I wonder if the pastor's cursed. I felt something odd when he came up to me, and the way everyone dislikes him seems excessive. Unnaturally excessive. Indeed. It does seem to beggar belief a bit that no one at all ever goes up to that church for mass or just to pray. I mean, small town, middle of nowhere, bunch of farmers and coal workers working rough jobs. You know, it seems like at least some people would turn to religion. I know this is weird coming from me, but not everything in town has to be spooky for supernatural reasons. Some people just give off bad vibes. You're right, Stella. That is weird coming from you. But then, you have had years to justify your feelings to yourself, haven't you? Agreed. We're allowed to dislike him even though he hasn't done anything wrong. That we know of. Yeah, see? Years to justify your feelings about him. Warping your mind. I mean, that doesn't have to be a supernatural thing. There are potentially mundane reasons for that, but... Also, it could just be the writers not liking religious people. Entirely possible. A lot of people can easily let their biases slip into works. Then again, it could be both. Or all three. Oh, before I forget, I invited Tabitha to come ghost hunting. You invited her? Even after last night? What do you mean, even after last night? As far as I'm concerned, she was the only one there who had her fucking head screwed on straight. What the heck are you talking about, Kanika? I mean, if anything, I thought she was actually pretty helpful. Yeah, see, even Stella agrees, and she was the least helpful. Actively detrimental at times. I mean, I guess? Good call, Joe Bob. I can't wait to hang out with her more. Maybe Tabitha's the one that's cursed. Or maybe Kanika's just letting her political biases cloud her mind. Kanika sighs. Alright, it happened. Let's not get into it. If we're lucky, she'll be too busy at the mines to even show. Ah, don't say that, Neeks. If we're lucky, she will show, and the two of you will finally get along. Ha. What about inviting Avery? Oh, yeah, totally. I don't know why I hadn't thought of that. I'm sure they'd get a hoot out of it. Yeah, I can't say I mind having a calming presence with us tonight. We won't be much help to Oscar if we start jumping at our own shadows. Cool, I'll text them on the way over to Reese's. Okay, let's go. Alright, shall we head out? The three of you leave the library for an early dinner at Reese's. Not to be confused with Breakfast at Tiffany's, which is a movie I only know of from the song. You know what? This seems like a good place to stop. I have a funny feeling that events at Reese's may very well run long. And it's not like this is really that short of an episode. Frankly, I'd like to make shorter episodes, but, well, I've never been good at that. If you want to phrase it in an ominous way, I could say I've never been good at knowing when to stop. But this seems perfectly fine. Okay then. So yes, as I'm sure came to an enormous surprise to you, the dog mayor will not be of much help, it seems. Now that stray that was mentioned, Scrap or Scraps, I forget which one it was, might be of help. Doesn't have the power of the dog mayor, certainly. But I'm sure he has his supporters, evidently he does. And actually making progress in stopping some of the shit that's been happening lately. Certainly seems like it would be quite an election campaign. But I won't hold out much hope. But anyway, next time we'll be having a dinner at Reese's. We'll get to finally meet the Were Mountain Lion himself. I swear, if he actually does turn out to be a Were Mountain Lion, and I actually did call it from basically zero evidence, I am going to be so fucking insufferable. You have no idea. But until then, I have been Joe Bob, and I'm very peeved. And remember, dislike the video, unsubscribe if you're for some reason subscribed, and leave a nasty comment in the comment section down below. Fuck you all so much for watching, and so long, suckers.
You're gonna be okay, kid.